I mean, it's just so versatile. You can use it in so many different ways. I love the fact that there's attention to carbohydrate sensitivity.
Yeah.
Right? And especially for a brand like Ghost, which appeals to a mainstream young crowd, which is a little bit more flexible in their dieting. This is helping kind of pay for the sins of the weekend. Welcome to PricePlow.
What's going on, PricePlow Nation? This is Mike and Ben here, and we are back from the burn. I'm talking about Ghost burn. I still got a little bit in my mouth here.
Yeah.
So we just did the flavor review, and it really depends on how sour you want it, because you got sour warheads here mixing with a spice, and that spice is grains of paradise. In this video, we are going to talk about the ingredients. First off, yes, we do have an affiliate business relationship with Ghost. We have a PricePlow 20% coupon, and you can check out priceplow.com/ghost for all your Ghost news, because there's a lot of stuff happening. Ben's been eating lots of Chips Ahoy protein powder and everything, but he didn't bring any for me.
Well, we'll make up for it with some burns that I burned.
Yeah, seriously. And then lastly, these products were sent to us for free, except for that one. We had to buy that one. Anyway, so let's talk about these ingredients though. First off, you have the 1-2 scoop dosage, and I think right off the bat, it's 150 milligrams of caffeine per scoop. And there's a little bit of extra stim on the side as well, but mostly it's going to be driven by the 150 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah. So you got to use that as your barometer of how much you really want. If you can go more, you're going to get more clinical doses of some of the other ingredients, but not everyone wants to deal with 300 milligrams of caffeine right in the morning or whenever you take this. So that depends on you. Now, each scoop, if you do 40, you have 40 total scoops, and 20 of the 2 scoop servings, obviously, and each scoop is 7.25 grams here in the mango, so it might be a little bit different per scoop.
7.5 for the warheads, I think.
And that means that basically, like, all these ingredients here, this isn't a capsule because it'd be like 10 capsules, and no one wants to take a 10 capsule fat burner. So most of the space is taken up, and this is where I think this is a really, really good idea, but it's 2 different forms of L-carnitine.
Right.
L-carnitine is the molecule used for fatty acid transport, and the problems really occur most when you're L-carnitine deficient. There's a lot of people out there who aren't eating as much meat anymore, and that's definitely not us two. We're making up for it, if anything. But if you, and so you find L-carnitine, you find it in beef and red meat and everything. And so a lot of people are on the anti-meat kick and everything, and there's a lot of problems. A lot of cognitive decline happens. It's tougher to recover, tougher to transport fat, tougher to, and cholines that come along for the ride with that too, tougher to break down fat and get it moving. And so the best studies with L-carnitine in terms of fat oxidation are for the people who are already carnitine deficient. So if you are a Ghost fan and you're like doing like Ghost vegan and you're not doing as much protein or as much red meat, then right off the bat, you have 2 different forms here that are going to be really good supplements that you should take, whether or not, in my opinion, you're taking Ghost Burn. But you're going to get more than enough here.
And I've been liking what Ghost has been doing with this with a couple different products. They've been like doing like Ghost X, and it's like a little blend of a few different ingredients that are complementary on each other.
Right.
And it kind of, for newer consumers, it kind of groups them together in a way that you might learn a little bit from this.
Right.
I'm a big fan of them because they are educating people through that. Don't forget up top too, the chromium they put in the bead ones.
Yeah.
Chromium, great for carbohydrate sensitivity.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's going to help your insulin work a little bit better, and that's a huge deal if you're tinkering with carbs like we do all the time.
And I think to start off, Ghost Burn was conceived to combat destroyers of all kinds. Part of Ghost's marketing is physique destroyers. They're big fans of, they're foodies over there.
Yeah.
So this is made for people who are a little bit more flexible in their lifestyle, right? Might not be getting on a stage or doing any kind of bodybuilding, but they enjoy the food that they eat.
Right.
So Ghost Burn is kind of formulated to help combat that.
Nice.
So.
Good points. So yeah, back to and then one last thing I want to say with the L-carnitines, you have 2 different forms here. So you have L-carnitine L-tartrate and you have acetyl L-carnitine. That's cool because L-carnitine L-tartrate, I'm not sure, the study might have worked for anything, but that's like more of the performance-based studies, 2 grams of that. And with acetyl L-carnitine, that's the one that actually crosses the blood-brain barrier, and that's good for focus. So you get best of both worlds here. Typically, like if you look at, for whatever reason, every study is like 2 grams, 2 grams, 2 grams. Well, here you're getting 3 grams total in 2 scoops. So I think a lot of people are going to end up at like 1 heaping scoop or 1.5 scoops, and that's pretty much going to get you a clinical dose of total L-carnitine. And then you have 2 different types there, which I think is good. You have a little bit of focus, a little bit of performance, and in general, I think it's going to be good for the taste as well. All acetyl L-carnitine kind of tastes a little bit vinegary. So
yeah, we're seeing a lot of like focus stuff in here. We're
Yep.
moving into the choline bitartrate.
Yep.
This product's not just making you burn fat. It's also going to be a great coffee replacement for people who don't want that coffee in their day. They want to drink something that tastes good in the morning. We heard that from Ryan Theobromine, who's talking about. He's gone through 5 tubs of this. It's a great morning and afternoon pick-me-up type thing.
Exactly. And with choline, kind of similar story with L-carnitine in that if you're not eating a lot of meat or eggs, choline is like a huge nutrient that's in eggs. You're not going to be able to metabolize fat as well. And also it helps you build up acetylcholine in your brain, so you get a really good focus boost. To me, I don't always notice a ton of choline because I eat so many eggs. So that's like my choline source. But man, when people switch into the vegan diet and they don't take care of these types of things, the carnitines and cholines, eventually you start getting like sluggish and things just aren't moving as quickly. And I think the carnitine choline right off the bat is a huge thing. So good for focus, and at certain doses, which I would say maybe a little bit higher than this, we have a gram of choline bitartrate and 2 scoops here. In even higher doses, there might be even like some strength boost components. And there's been studies on 2 grams of choline bitartrate with women definitely having like fat loss potential. And so it's a great nutrient that everyone's got to get. I think you got to eat the eggs, but also I still like to take extra. Big fan of choline bitartrate. Now there's other forms of choline and everything, which you got to realize with bitartrate, it might be a little bit less bioavailable than some forms, but it's actually 40% choline by weight, and the other forms are like less than half of that. So you have to take that into account. A lot of the other forms also sometimes they're 50% silica bonded and everything. Choline bitartrate, boom, 40% choline by weight. So you get a really good bang for the buck here, and it's like helps with the flavoring as well. It doesn't taste the best on its own, but it doesn't destroy the formula like the peppers might.
Right.
You know, for the people who don't want the peppers, that's obviously a huge thing here.
Cool. KSM66.
Yes.
Big fan.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And it might counteract if you're not the biggest caffeine or stimulant person here.
Right.
A little bit of a calming effect here, right? But also it is a bit of a nootropic. I mean, this is a product we could do a whole video on KSM66.
Right.
And all the benefits there. But for this product, I'm looking at the calming benefits here. It's a kind of level out, kind of like a theanine normally would be thrown in.
Right. Okay. Oh, you're getting to you like it for the calming of the caffeine levels.
I'm not a big fat burner person.
Okay.
So if I am going to use something that's very high in, not just caffeine, but also that theobromine, everything else
that's going to be inside. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you're looking at something else to kind of even that out and make it last longer for my day, or make it a little bit more bearable for my day. It's a great addition right there.
Agreed. I love this stuff. You know, we were talking about another product that we just posted a review that's got a similar dose of this as 2 scoops of this, and my testosterone went up. So very excited about that. There's so many cool things. The main mechanism it works though is through lowering cortisol. If you start looking at the research, people who are constantly stressed out and have high cortisol levels, they are not going to burn nearly as much fat. For whatever reason, this helps you lower cortisol. Obviously, you got to solve the problems in your life. Obviously, you got to sleep better and everything. But all other things considered equal, say you cannot solve that current stressful problem right here, right now. It's a money issue that's going to take you, a year and a half to clear out the debt or whatever it might be. I am all for. All other things considered equal, KSM66 is going to lower the cortisol levels, and it's going to kind of just unlock things from your body in a way. Like they're just going to be less stiffened up. Like,
right.
I'm kind of talking metaphorically here, but like it just the body kind of seems finally like let a little bit loose.
Right.
And it does take the edge off a lot of the hardcore stimulus too.
Cortisol is important in an acute benefits.
Right. Oh yeah, it's there for a reason. Yeah.
But chronically being high from stress and stuff like that can help you. I mean, it's going to make you hold water, you can gain a little bit of fat, or hold on to fat in the fat loss phase. So making sure that your body has lower amounts of it over time is always going to benefit you.
Yeah, we want to be panicked at the right times. We don't want to always be panicked. Like, and modern society has us doing that. Like Instagram.
So moving into L-tyrosine.
Yeah, and so this isn't a huge dose. I think I start feeling it at 500 milligrams or so, and this is the better form of L-tyrosine, is just standard L-tyrosine. But I start feeling around 500 milligrams, which we have in 2 doses, and that gives you a little bit of the extra happy hormone, a little dopamine boost, a little bit of norepinephrine, like a little uptick of that through the pathway. So it's an amino acid that is found in a lot of different types of foods, but if you supplement it, you're going to get a little bit more of the happy hormones, and that's always good for a dieter who's on a caloric deficit, let's say.
Yeah, I would definitely be looking at this product in 2 scoops. So if at 500 milligrams there, I'm happy with it. Also,
It's another nootropic. It's like it adds focus. So everything we're talking about here is adding a little bit of focus. Together. And that's good, man. If you got the fog from a diet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Or you could actually split this up: one scoop in the morning, one scoop in the afternoon. You still be getting 500 milligrams over the day.
That's true.
So cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're dieting and getting foggy, I actually would prefer 2 boosts.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know when you need it. I'll tell you about your caffeine schedule.
we already know what the caffeine and hydrogen.
Yeah, 300 for 2 scoops.
Coffee bean.
Okay, so now we have Theobromine, and it's 100 milligrams. This is for it's standardized at 20% Theobromine, so it's 100 milligrams in 2 scoops. And this is you get a little bit thermogenic from this. Like
I get warm from this.
Okay, we got the AC blowing on right now.
I actually just turned on. I started feeling like but yeah, I get warm from this. Like, you can see I'm getting a little rosy. That's my Irish coming out. But once this kind of stuff like heats me up. Like I feel the thermogenesis. I don't always know. I don't know if the actual heat really is burning all that much, but it's kind of like a feeling that it's like beta alanine. That paresthesia doesn't actually help you, but when people can feel it, it's just a better response, and they're gonna have a better workout, and it's in their head.
I know. I've talked about this before. I train better sweating, and I am all about sweating. Like I don't want to sweat to death or anything, but there's a total mental component there. But Theobromine itself also does have some like mental. There's a really cool study that we said on the blog a lot where like vigilance goes up, like interesting things.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like caffeine's like younger sister, cousin, or whatever, and it's like kind of like a similar molecule that's not nearly as stimulant based, but it gives us some of the better like little bit of a mood uptick, a little bit of this like vigilance uptick, a little bit of the wanting to get stuff done, just a little bit. And so it's nice to have, especially when some people do get heated up from it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, like we were talking with Matt Tittle the other day about how caffeine is a standard for energy, but it has some things that come along with it, like heart rate, blood pressure, stuff like that. So if you can find other stimulants that stimulate you, but aren't technically like stimulants, you can find other ways to bring up your energy.
Yeah, because you hit the law of diminishing returns of the caffeine.
Yes.
Like 300 is perfect for 2 scoops, especially from a Ghost product. I don't expect a 450 milligram caffeine thing. And at that point, you really do need to start looking at other things. And that's why I like the whole profile here, and it's very nootropic heavy. So that you're gonna, there's just like good feels.
Yeah, if we're talking about one source, just anhydrous, 300 is probably the high price I really want. If you want to add more than that, I personally want to see like Infinergy come in or something like that.
Yeah, calm it down a little bit. I don't think that's not needed here. But here's another one. And so now we're talking about coffee fruit extract called Neurofactor. And it's from a supplier known as Futureceuticals.
Right.
And so this it's an ingredient that we're starting to see a lot, and it's able to help you increase your brain-derived neurotrophic factors. So you're actually helping to not lose neurons and even repair and maybe even create new neurons when your BDNF levels are higher. So once again, it's more of a nootropic. I personally don't ever like really feel it, but you seem like you have in a few of the different supplements we've taken with it. So.
Yeah, I've taken GNC's RTD. I think it was the first time I saw it, and also another product that we reviewed, we saw it, and it's not like an alpha GPC feel, but I don't know. I just feel a little bit more dialed in. And it's with some nootropics, I feel like I've gone like antisocial with some nootropics. You know? And it's like
the crazy stuff that's not going to be in a Ghost product.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm happy seeing something like this where it's I don't want to say understated, but it's there, but it's not going to ruin your day.
Right.
You know what I mean, it dials you in. You're more focused. It's great for work, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna be like in your cubicle, like not talking to your coworkers.
Right. Yeah. So I think this seems to be one of the types of nootropic supplements that's more like, to me, a little bit more protective, more long-term benefits. Like I'm not gonna feel it like crazy right away, but it seems like after a month of use, that there's like a little bit of buildup possible. And I think that we need to see more research, but it's very exciting. And a lot of the smarter brands that we talk to are starting to use it a lot more. And so when I see certain brands, certain people really digging into an ingredient, that makes me want to dig into it too. And so knowing that Dan and Ryan like it at Ghost that's important to me.
Yeah, Dan and Ghost have a lot running because they're so highly distributed by GNC. So they can't just be throwing products into their products. GNC is very, very diligent with their compliance. And
gotta be.
Yeah, and the other thing is also, Dan doesn't just throw his trust into any ingredient just because the science is there. So I feel the same way. When I see them talking about some ingredients, I'm like, all right, this is probably has some merit for us to be looking into.
Yeah, right now, like neurofactors and enough stuff that I think we need to get a bigger deep dive going on PricePlow. We'll reach out to Futureceuticals and talk about that. All right, next up, we have bitter orange extract, and that's citrus aurantium, typically standardized for synephrine. Now, this is part of the reason it was relabeled is the FDA they want natural extracts as much as possible, and synephrine is a synthetically created stimulant sometimes, but hey, you can get it out of the citrus aurantium extract, and that's what Ghost is doing here. And so this gives you a little bit of an uptick in metabolic boost. There was a study showing it at it was definitely a higher dose, but over the course, oh man, I don't want to, what's up?
Well, you said the FDA is one of the reasons here.
I thought so.
The GNC actually does not allow synephrine anymore.
Oh, it's GNC.
It used to be below, I think it was 60% extract. You couldn't beat that. Because synephrine comes in 5, 15, 40, and 60, I believe. And they weren't allowing a 60% standardization, which doesn't really make sense because like you could dose the same amount with a 40% extract.
And then you're getting more other stuff too, but.
Right. It doesn't really make sense. But anyway, they had to go with bitter orange to have a natural source of it, right? It doesn't let us know here how much it's standardized to or if it is standardized or what, but I'm feeling warm.
Right. So this is, it's one of the beta-2 agonists that gives you a little bit of the uptake of that flight or fight response, mobilizing fat for storage, and that's gonna heat you up a lot of the times. With synephrine, there is a study showing that more energy gets expended, and it's not like. It's not a small amount. It's not a monstrous amount. You're not going to be able to go and eat 50 more cookies or anything. But it's like 50 or 75 calories or something like that over the period of a time that is like throughout the dose, and it's like enough where it's worth having in a fat burner. And I think it feels good. This is like I don't want caffeine only. I love caffeine with synephrine or caffeine with hegemony. I like the little bit of bonus action.
I remember the study showing a percentage that it was how much your percentage of your metabolism was increasing, and I remember being like, if I was dieting well, that would be a significant difference. Yeah. But if I was eating potato chips, it's not going to help.
You can't put lipstick on that pig.
Exactly. So it's only once again the greatest point. This is a supplement. It's going to supplement the diet that you're already training on and dieting with. So. It'll help, but it's not going to fix your lifestyle.
All right, we are getting towards the end, but yes, now it is time for my favorite, Grains of Paradise Extract. This is my favorite stimulant-free fat-burning supplement in the last video. So this is what's bringing the spice to the burn. This is bringing the burn to the burn, and I have grown to love this ingredient so much that I started cooking with it, not with this, but with the actual, I have a grinder that grinds out Grains of Paradise seeds, and it's kind of like black pepper, but a little bit more flavorful and aromatic. Right. It's a member of the ginger family, which has its own fat-burning properties. Okay. But this actually helps you create more brown fat, the thermogenic fat. Interesting. And there's clinical doses at both. It's actually funny, 20 and 40 milligrams. So even at one scoop, you might be getting a clinical dose here.
So, and if it's related to ginger, do you know if there's any digestive benefits?
I do not.
Okay. Cool.
I always like it. I just love this stuff to the point where I cook with it. But I'm not expecting my ground beef to have fat burning, benefits. I'm not weighing out the milligrams, and but this is a standardized extract where they're actually going for the 6-paradol. So you have 6-gingerol, which is the fat burning and possibly testosterone boosting part of the ginger. 6-paradol is a similar extract constituent from Grains of Paradise. And there's like rat and human studies on this stuff. Like it's for real, and I'm a big fan. Obviously, same situation. You're not going to be able to go eat 5 tubs of ice cream. Right. You're like, I ate my Grains of Paradise, I'm okay. Obviously not. But all other things considered equal, you do get a little bit more of that uptick, and it's not. I'm sweating. You're
just optimizing, right? Exactly. You'd already be losing fat with the diet that you're on, but here's a way to make it a little bit more effective. Exactly. And so, speaking of similar to black pepper, last ingredient is bioperine. Bioperin, I'm not sure how it actually is.
I always say bioperin, but I've never actually.
Well, it's black pepper extract.
Yeah, and so the real pungent part of the black pepper is a constituent known as piperine, and bioperin is a trusted form of this, where it's 95% piperine. So it is the black of the black pepper and everything, and we both got black shirts on too. Anyway, so that's the stuff that it increases like the bioavailability, the absorption of the other ingredients that go along with it. So Ghost they always have some sort of like optimization of their ingredients, and this is what they're adding here. And it's another spice. So sometimes you open a tub and you just know there's bioperin in here, and it's just like, woo. This one's like. I did that. This one's got a double dose of 2 different peppers, and they're peppers I love, but I'm more excited about the Grains of Paradise. I cook with that over black pepper at this point. So
I'll have to try with some of that later.
Yeah,
This is also and I love the absorption matrix on this stuff. I love that, if there's any questionability on any of these ingredients actually absorbing into your body, we're just making sure that you're getting all of it.
Right.
Maybe a little bit more effectively.
yeah,
So.
and one thing we started getting off into in the tasting review is in the other ingredients. The first one is a fiber known as polydextrose.
Right.
So when you see this, do not worry. Okay, if you're afraid of fiber making you poop during a workout, first off, it's only 2 grams. But this one, I've never had problems with. Polydextrose is a fiber, and I believe it's synthetically manufactured, but this is a fiber that is able to actually suppress appetite in larger doses, but it also doubles as a sweetener, and it was recently approved by both the FDA and Health Canada as fibers. So now they can have it on the label as a legit fiber. And the studies I saw, I was telling Ben in the last video, what they did at a higher dose. A lot of times, you eat a ton of fiber with your meal, you're going to eat less food in general. But then the next meal, you're like twice as hungry, and you bounce back, typically with other
Well, it's a
fiber.
gastric emptying effect,
Yeah,
right? It's
right.
pushing out everything so you're extra hungry. So I'm very curious about why polydextrose did it.
But yeah, in the study they did, for whatever reason, polydextrose, like people just ate less in general. So I can't claim that because we're only talking 2 grams. I think this is a way of sweetening it without like screwing up, without having to add maltodextrin or anything like this. Like I will take this 1,000 times over something with maltodextrin.
sure.
Yeah. And so that's the label, and then everything else, like you got the citric acid, malic acids, and then the flavors and all that. And of course, we're going to have some ACE colors, actually natural color here, turmeric and beetroot. So like Dan says in the Ghost videos, when they can, they go with the natural colors.
The warhead ones are not natural here.
Yeah.
But warheads are not natural colors. So that is some extreme colors.
You got to stick with you got to stay on brand with that. And then sucralose is first, and then ACE comes a little bit later. So you definitely have you gotta sweeten this up. There's no way you're gonna get away from that. So hopefully that helps explain some of the ingredients that are in Ghost Burn. Huge fan of these fat burning powders. You're gonna get a little spice, you're gonna get a little sour, and that's kind of the fun of the supplement.
Yeah.
But stacking wise, like if you're just trying to do a thermogenic but try to like keep the leanness a little bit, I think you can stack this pretty well with Ghost Size, which is something we don't always talk about enough. And then if you want to get a pump on, stack this with Ghost Pump, and that's almost like your Legend replacement if you're like more into the fat burning side of things, or you want to work out with some spice and like you like to sweat.
Yeah.
Like I do. I'm all about that.
I really see this as like a coffee replacement in the morning. Like I would drink this as I get to the office, right? Get some, get motivation going, get energy going, and maybe a second dose before workout, but it's extremely versatile.
And that's what Ryan's doing. That's why we went through 5 tubs of it. So anything else?
I mean, it's just so versatile. You can use it in so many different ways. Super happy with it. And I love the fact that we've seen this in a couple of different products recently. Attention to carbohydrate sensitivity.
Yeah.
Right? Especially for a brand like Ghost, which appeals to a mainstream young crowd, which is a little bit more flexible in their dieting, where they might be a little bit higher in carbohydrates than, our crowd, which would be sticking to white rices, or even in yours where it's a little more keto. This is helping kind of pay for the sins of the weekend, so.
And if it helps your muscles uptake a little bit of that, you will always take that. So and you can tell. Here's the things I start to notice. I look at a label: chromium. You see chromium nicotinate, glycinate, chelate. This is a chelated form, which means it's bonded to that glycine. The thing is, our digestive systems aren't great at absorbing minerals. Like that's just, we weren't meant to eat copper off the tree. Right. But we are great at absorbing amino acids such as glycine. So if you take the glycine, you chelate this, and you bond your mineral to the glycine, your small intestine's like, oh, hell yeah, I love amino acids. Let's get that in there. And then it kind of like Trojan horses the chromium in for the ride, and then the chromium can get into the bloodstream and help your insulin work better. And so that's why it's there. So they're not just throwing in like chromium picolinate and calling it a day. Goes to actually spend just a little bit more money to get the good stuff.
Right.
And that means a lot to us. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for picking that out too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's always important to me. I'm a carb guy, so I want to use them as best as possible instead of just shoving it in my stomach and hoping for the best.
Yeah, Ben couldn't start YouTube reviews today without carving up first.
I mean, it's
All right, subscribe to the channel if you want a little bit more. Check out that PricePlow 20% off coupon. Thanks to Ghost for sending these tubs, and thanks to everyone for watching this far along. Leave your comments below, and then let's go try some Grains of Paradise.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
See ya.
Welcome to PricePlow.